Hey everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me on this morning's Sacred Sunday message. Some of you might call it a reading. On Sacred Sundays, it is a special day to connect with your soul, with the deeper things within yourself that are trying to speak to you and me. I am a spiritual guide, but I'm also a student because I learn along with you guys a lot of times. Yes, I've been on this spiritual journey for many years, and I've learned so much and I've grown so much throughout, but there is something special about Sunday messages for me. It is a time to connect, a time to understand the deeper parts of our internal being, okay? It is my honor and my joy to be here, to be the creator of this channel, created with you in mind. And I love being on this journey, even though sometimes it's not pleasant. There's twists and turns, there's the unknowns. This journey is mine and mine alone, and yours alone, and yours alone. And we're all on our own individual journeys, but the one thing that we have in common is a higher source of love and light. And that is why I am here to do this Sunday message. Upon awakening, before I even got into meditation, I was hearing Abraham, okay? And from what I understand of Abraham is that he was called by God to leave his country and his community because God wanted Abraham to leave behind everything he knew, to leave behind all the comforts and everything he knew about the people he lived amongst, the place where he, I assume, grew up. But I feel that energy here today. I feel the pull in our heart. When I woke up, I had this really big, tug at my heart. And I said, okay, I'm here, God. What is it you want me to deliver? What is it you want me to know? So I can deliver that message to others as well. And what I was hearing was Abraham, who, that energy of leaving the familiar behind and going to unknown territory. And I say that in an energetic way, light energy, not necessarily pick up and move your home, everything that you've known, and move to another country. That's not what I'm saying literally. It's what I'm saying in a light of energy, okay? It's metaphoric. As we get into this message and reading more, we will discover what this message means and why Abraham's energy is here with us today. It feels very close to the heart, close to home. I did a reading, I think yesterday, and one of the messages in there was you're being called, okay? You're being called. And I believe that was a segue to this message today. And if I pause for a sec, it's because I need to take a sip. I get very dry when I do these messages, my voice, my mouth, and so I need to stay hydrated. Sorry if you heard noise with that, but I do want to take a sec to just kind of feel your heart, to breathe, to feel into your heart space. Feel your breath as you breathe in and out. And to understand that it's so important to clear the energy so that you can receive this message. the way it's supposed to be received, okay? Let's take a moment to thank Spirit, thank you, Divine Creator, your guides, and whoever is here with you today, to thank yourself for taking the time to understand more about you, about your inner workings, about your inner self, okay? I feel like we need to use the Talking to Heaven cards today. These are soul cards. I use them when I do readings for mediumship, and they're very, very beautiful cards that touch the soul. They touch the heart, okay? They always get to the matter. And then I'm going to use the Psychic Tarot for the Heart cards. And I feel something about Lord Ganesha energy today here. So if we're going to touch on those, I think. Let's begin with tarot cards, Psychic Tarot for the Heart, okay? I do want to tell you that this message is feels very much like a back to the basics sort of ancient kind of energy. It feels like your Divine Creator is trying to speak to you or get your attention. It feels like your soul is trying to say, listen up, this is important. It's not something you can just shrug off. This is an important message for you. Okay. I had a little get together yesterday here in my backyard with a couple friends and my daughters and my guy, my person, and we had a cookout and we had some laughs and we had some fireworks after. But I do want to say that when I was sort of just observing conversations and things going on, around the table, I had this interesting feeling of it's all changing. And what's interesting is when I heard that in my, my third eye or my head or whatever you want to say, one of the friends said, I'm really tired of my circle of friends. I just want to move on to something more, something better, something more mature, something whatever. And as she was talking, I was thinking to myself, this is a shift in her energy. It's time for her to turn the page, so to speak, in her chapter. And we touched on that just a bit, and then we went on with our evening. And so this morning as I woke up, I was thinking to myself, I was feeling that separation, okay, from the old. I was feeling the separation from the old. And it's like when you're there in that space where it's time to just close out that chapter, it feels very intense and very real. Her feelings about moving on to something else, that was her heart, that was her soul telling her, yes, it's time now. It's time now to move on. And once you decide that it's not anyone's fault, it's nothing to do with blame, it's nothing to do with, well, suddenly I don't like her personality. It's more about, it's time to bow out gracefully. It's time to just move on and don't look back. It is those experiences and those timelines in our journey that mean so much, that they're so significant. It's such a pull on my heart this morning that I had to stop what I was doing and sit for a minute, and I had to say, listen, okay, is this something that in my own life, God, that I need to move away from? Is it me? Did I do something? And then I brought myself back to what this really meant. It meant that there is so much healing that has been happening that maybe we weren't aware of. But it's brought us to this point where we are sort of looking into the eyes of our own soul, and we are, I'm sorry for my voice, I was kind of hoarse this morning for some reason. I'm not sure why. I think I just can't get this message out fast enough. But it's time to look into our own eyes, the eyes into our soul, to honor what it is that we need to do, to honor ourselves and to move forward, to honor our journey, our path, and what is there for us. Some of us have no idea what's ahead. We just feel, some of you feel stuck. Like, I've been on this journey for years and I've been looking for signs. I've been looking for something to show me my way out of all this, my way out. And that sort of desperate feeling is an indication that your soul is telling you, take some kind of step forward. Let's move. Okay, let's move. For some of you, it's a physical move, but you haven't done anything yet because you don't feel that whatever decision, whatever direction you're going is the right one, because you're doubting again. I feel like you're doubting yourself. And is this a test? It might be. It might be a test of, do I trust myself to be in agreement with my soul? Because I think and I feel that some of you are resisting this change, whether you realize it or not. You're resisting some kind of change because you feel like you might, it might mean that you have to leave, part ways with somebody, like, for instance, moving out of state and your family is left, your father, mother, brother, sister, whatever, people you're close to, you have to move away from because it's the best thing for you. And I feel like for some of you, you just don't want to deal with that pain or that discomfort or that judgment or criticism. But your soul is screaming and it's saying, enough already. It's time to move on, okay? And don't go there and be negative and say, oh my God, she's talking about my relationship. I'm not telling you to leave anybody. I'm telling you, if there's a situation where you feel you shouldn't be there anymore, then that is your decision. That is your soul telling you. Is it scaredy? Scaredy. Oh, because I was looking at this card. It said clarity of belief. Is it scary? It is a little bit scary to move out of your comfort zone and into something brand new. The card that I was talking about is this one, clarity of belief. You're getting, I'm so sorry. Let me just do this. You're getting an opportunity to honor your soul, to move forward, to listen to your internal compass, and to make some sort of move forward into something more. I could list many things as far as blessings, and I will say what comes. It's your opportunity to move into something more lucrative, and I mean that in many ways. And Spirit is saying, you've been kind of on the fence about something, and you've seen hints of, okay, this is all going to work out. It's going to get better. It's going to be fine. But then you go back to these feelings of, but I can't make any move. I want clear direction from my guides. I want clear direction from my divine creator. But you don't understand that your soul is trying to tell you it's time to make a move in some way, shape, or form. Start researching, Start inquiring, start doing something. But as long as you don't, there's no way that you can move forward in peace, in a positive direction, until you surrender something. You surrender the fear of letting go, or the fear of having to separate. I feel like it's distance, not your heartstrings. I feel like it's a distance between you and others that you maybe grew up with, or someone very familiar to you. It feels like this move scares you, that you might have to give somebody up. But it feels interesting that for some of you, it is giving up maybe a circle of friends that just, you don't vibe with them anymore. And in some ways, I think you never really did. I think your soul was kind of like, maybe you were tolerating this group of friends, but at least you had friends. That's kind of how it feels like. Maybe you're exploring your individuality, your uniqueness, and so you kind of settled upon this group of friends, and now you're realizing it's not that you've you don't like them anymore. It's your soul doesn't vibe with them, and you're now more clear about how what your soul is trying to tell you about that. Okay, you're now more clear with that. So clarity of belief, yes, by all means, clarity of belief in what you're feeling about moving on to, and I'm hearing freedom, moving on to freedom, away from situations, dramas, whatever it is that your soul doesn't belong with. And it's I'm telling you, it's hitting you hard. And some of you may be brushing it off, saying, oh, tomorrow I'll feel better, I'm just feeling this way tonight because whatever reason. But if you're hearing this and feeling this very strong, that's your soul telling you it's time to make a move, okay? Let me see what else Spirit has to say here. Clarity of belief, guys. Your soul. You were never meant to stay where you are. Your soul is telling you that if you just breathe and honor your soul, you can move forward into something more beautiful. Your soul is telling you, just like the Abraham energy. It's time to move on into unknown territory. Abraham went on to become I believe he became a leader of a nation, a new place, a country, and God wanted him to, it was time for him to move on. It was time to go. It was time to sort of move on to where his soul was vibing more with whatever his calling was. And for all of us, I do believe the same. It's time to move on, whether it's physically moving, whether it's acting on something, starting something new, birthing something new. And for many of you, I feel like this is significant. It's not, everything we do in life and every decision we make is significant, whether it seems like it or not, okay? It is significant. And it feels like this is not a decision like, what do I wear today? Or do I take a different direction to work today? It's more a decision that's life-changing. It is a time to take that action, to be in alignment with your soul. And how do you do that, you may ask? By talking to your inner voice and being in agreement, in alignment with change, being in agreement with your soul, honoring you, okay? And we can stay, and I know people that have stayed in situations for years and years and years because they feel like that's all they know. And they can't imagine themselves outside of that world. And Spirit says, we've heard your prayers. We know you want change. We know you're greater, far greater than who you are right now. You have skills, you have talents, you have some energy that someone needs that's not maybe in your world, in your area. But it feels very much like this is such a significant call to make that change, to make that move. And for some of you, it could even be that the career you're in is no longer, excuse me, my nose is a little bit runny this morning. But it feels like it could be even the job is no longer rewarding or fulfilling. And it could be your soul's warning you to leave before, for some of you, it could be your company is having difficulties and they're going to do cutbacks, or they're going to do pay decreases, or something like that. And so your soul is telling you it's time to move on. And it's not negative. It's not being pessimistic. It's your soul telling you, warning you. It's time to move on to something better for you. Okay? I feel it feels very much like the card Choose Your Battles came out, right? It's almost like this card is saying, you're battling with yourself. Why are you so worried about this way or that way when you know that way isn't the right way? You know that making an action step and moving forward is the right way. So Spirit is saying, which side of this path are you on? Right? Are you on that journey there? Or are you on this journey over here? You were on that journey, but this journey over here is the one that's going to free your soul. It's going to free your mind. Free your mind, and the rest will follow. But these decisions and these actions should all be based on love. Love for you, your own self. Love for honoring your soul, honoring your path, your calling, whatever that might be. Okay? And it feels very much like some of you might be in for a surprise, because you've been on this journey feeling like your mission or your goal is to be this, but it hasn't worked out that way, because you're now feeling that your calling is this over here. It feels like you are being called to honor and be open to that mission, or whatever it is. Why am I seeing a piano and teacher? That might be significant to some of you. Some of you, it feels like some of you want to be some sort of teacher of music, or take music lessons to perfect your voice, voice lessons. Some of you might need or want to take more acting lessons or something like that, because you feel you're a very creative person, and you feel you need to be in front of the camera. It feels very much like something that you feel you haven't been able to accomplish. It doesn't feel, how do I say this, real to some of you. That's what I'm hearing. It doesn't feel real to some of you. It feels like you almost feel duped. Like, why did I feel I was supposed to be an actor or a stage actor, a movie actor, or a TV actor, whatever it is? Why did I feel like that was my calling? But it hasn't turned into anything. Your soul knows the answer to that question. And it's important to get into your inner sanctuary within yourself, to seek out the truth. Okay? Were you meant to be that? Were you meant to entertain others? Were you meant to do this? Were you meant to do that? And guys, if you find that you were not meant to do that, that doesn't mean that you're you feel like an idiot because that was your dream. I feel like there is a sudden turn. And for some of you, I feel it's you struggle with you don't want to feel like you're giving up on your dream, okay? And that's perfectly normal. That's perfectly fine. It could be that you're pursuing things in the wrong direction and that there's a right direction to move into that dream, okay? So don't go to extremes and think, oh God, that was my dream. What do you mean? I have to give it up? No, that's not what I'm saying. I feel like Spirit is trying to tell you your dream is there, but there's things that you need to do in order to achieve that. Because I feel like miracles are here for us, but we don't necessarily believe they are. Because we're looking in a direction that's not necessarily in line with what the universe has planned for us, okay? If that makes any sense. It feels like some of you need a chakra clearing, a chakra cleaning, because the sacral chakra comes up and is, I feel very, I'm hearing intuitive, to clean and clear that chakra. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube where you can do these energetic practices to clear your energy, to clear your chakras. I think most people don't do that because we just don't understand chakras or something like that. But they are such an important part of our physical and spiritual journey, and it is important to learn about them and to explore the importance of the meaning or the purpose for us in our lives, okay? Are there any more from this card deck, please? Any more messages? I think I should go to the Talking to Heaven card deck because I feel pulled to that one. Let me just make sure there's no more in this one. Yeah, some of you are having really strong fears, okay? You're having fears of change. You're having fears of moving on, of life-changing events. You're having fears of, if I move away or if I move away from that circle of friends, I'll feel alone. But you're not seeing the truth. And the truth is, they're not necessarily bad people. It's just, like I said, your soul is ready for something more. Okay? Let's see what Talking to Heaven cards have to say about this message and our need to take some action steps, okay? There are times in our path when we are not to take action, we are to sit still, and we are to allow time to heal our hearts before we make a move on something. And then there are times when we need to take that action step. And even if it is just starting out, baby steps, it's an action step. And it is something that is very much needed right now on your journey. Okay. I feel like I feel for some of you, you feel like you've wasted time here on this plane. You know, going back and forth with should I, shouldn't I, and years later you're at this place where you're tired of the should I, shouldn't I. Because this energy that comes through is trying to tell you, if I had only known then what I know now, I would have lived differently. But here's the thing about that, okay? Pardon me. The thing about that, if I had known then what I know now, I would have lived differently. That is, I feel like that's an energy, the energy of you sort of placing guilt on yourself. Damn, I wish I'd known that before. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say that. But it's okay, because whatever it is you're going to do and whatever change you are making, there is support. There is support by whatever new people are entering your life. I was met by so many loving people, okay? So it feels like your future self is telling you, I'm glad I made that move. And I'm glad that I'm not putting blame on myself or criticizing for taking so long to make an action step, to make a move, okay? So Spirit is saying, you have so much support that you're not aware of. To help you along your journey, to help you on your path, because I feel that once you start exploring opportunities to make more money or opportunities to make a move somewhere, you will have resources available to you. The fears hold us back from accessing opportunities, resources, help, and stop us from even asking for help. So use this as an example. You're traveling somewhere and you're not sure about, you want to explore restaurants, or you want to explore what it's like to live there. So you seek out direction from somebody in a gas station. Hey, I'm heading in this direction. Would it be better to go this way or that way to get to my destination? Or you seek out reviews of a job or a city or a neighborhood. So see how we always ask for direction from physical sources and resources? So why do we not ask for direction and trust the advice from our guides, from our God, from our divine creator, our spirit guides? Why do we not trust our gut, our instinct, our intuition? It feels very kind of one-sided, not balanced, where I trust people more than I trust my own intuition, or I feel like it is, we have to use our intellect, but we also have to use our spiritual compass, right? And I feel like many times it's off balance, and we don't do that. We only rely on physical. So there is a balance there that is needed in order to make this step, whatever you're doing next, okay? Let me see if there are any other cards from this deck. I don't think there are, but I'm going to just give it one more shuffle and see what's coming in here. I feel like Lord Ganesha is, that energy is here with us today. I just want to show you this card on the bottom of the deck. When I just put the card in the back in the box, this one was on the bottom. I watch over you every day, okay? You have support, your spirit guides, your relatives, your family, whoever has passed on. I feel like their energy is here with you. And I also, it's interesting how I'm tapping into someone's energy who had a dog. And this dog was a larger dog. And so that energy is here to say, I've always watched over the territory. My dogs are territorial, and so if someone comes to the house that they're not familiar with, they're gonna bark. Okay, they're gonna bark. It's their warning bark. And so this, I feel like the energy of this animal, whoever owned a dog, that energy of protection is there. It's, I've always watched over, and I feel like that too is your divine creator. I've always watched over you. I feel like your angels have always watched over you. And the energy of this pet, this animal, is there as a reminder, you know, I protected you every day while I was on this plane. And just because I'm away doesn't mean that my energy can't be there for you. And so that's what I feel with this. That makes me emotional because it feels like somebody was very close to this animal. And they were almost like soulmates, right? And so that's what I feel with that message. It is very clear that you are being watched over, and that you feel like if you make a decision and you feel scared that if it's a wrong one, you're stuck, but you're not. You can go in any direction you want. You just have to trust in yourself and your guides. And that is not a fairy tale statement. That is not sugarcoating something. That is truth. Because we are infinite energy, capable, fully capable of making decisions and clearing it with our guides, with our own soul, to make sure we are on the right path and to move forward, okay? So many of you are in reflection. You're looking for the answer, and you haven't found it. But this, I'm sensing from this message from Lord Ganesha that being in reflection is actually a good thing for you, to go within. It's good to get public advice sometimes on certain things. You know, is this product good? Is it, how many people have reviewed it in positive favor? Those things are good. Don't get me wrong, but this reflection is really important because it's about your soul journey. It's about yourself. It's about forward movement, taking a step forward in some way, shape, or form. For some of you, it will be baby steps. It will be, okay, let me start researching this. Let me see what jobs are available in this area or that area. But you also can rely on your intuitive to lead you there, right? So Lord Ganesha is saying, if you want clarity on what your next step is, where you're going, get into that reflective state, meditation, maybe quietness, something that you can focus on that helps you to center yourself, to get into harmony with your soul, because that's where you find your guidance. That's where you find your guidance. I find it interesting that, and fascinating that people in stories from the Bible or key historical figures that have made their mark and made history, if they had not taken that step, that would not have happened. We wouldn't have had someone that founded the a country, or someone who took some important step to change, and unbeknownst to them, it changed the course of history. So it feels very much like there is a fulfillment here, right? There's a fulfillment that needs to be made, and it starts with you giving yourself permission to move forward into something more lucrative for yourself, for your spiritual journey and physical journey. It feels like wherever you are right now, you're not fulfilled. You're not satisfied. And so you want something so much that you're not willing to look in another direction to find it, because you're only focused on where you haven't made progress, rather than the progress that you need to make to get there. Okay, that's what I'm feeling. That's what the message is. And forgive me if it sounds harsh, but it's not a criticism. It is just pointing out the situation right now for you. What else, Lord Ganesh? What else? Yep. So that energy of Lord Ganesh, and I'm going to say the Abraham energy, is embrace change, embrace, know that whatever is being left behind, it's not to be, you might mourn a little over something. This is the only home you've known for years, and now you're moving. So it feels like it's important to embrace the emotions that come with change. It's important to embrace the change. It's important to understand that you have to let go and be at peace. Okay, it's important to embrace it, because it feels like your priorities are not in line with your soul, or they were not. Okay, so what are your priorities? Are your priorities to keep someone happy? But what if you're not happy? So where are your priorities? Are you prioritizing one thing over the other, and you're not balancing physical versus spiritual? You're staying comfortable in something that you've known all your life, and so you're afraid to move forward, right? I feel like you don't see the big picture, and I don't think you were supposed to yet, because it might have been overwhelming for you. So your priorities were not in line with your soul. Okay? Pardon me while I take a sip. But now your soul is speaking clearly. Anything else, guys? Okay. This is where you're headed. Joy. You see, he's on a path, and his journey, it feels like his journey, he's leaving behind a mountain that he traversed, and he's on a path now that is more clear. It is not as harsh, and it feels like he is noticing the little things now, right? Not as focused on getting to the end result. He's focused more on kind of smelling the roses along the way and appreciating the small steps to get to the big step, right? That's what I feel like here with this energy. He's very now alert, like he was awakened to something. And it feels very much like this is, he's understanding the importance of gratitude for little blessings, big blessings, and all blessings. That's what that feels like. I feel like, guys, like this is what Spirit had to say, and this is like the end of this message now. I feel very much like this is sort of it feels like the pressure's off my chest now. Like it just really needed to come out and get out there, the message for all of us, okay? Please understand that these messages are all inclusive. They are collective energy. And so what might resonate with you might not resonate with someone else. But that's okay, because there are pieces and parts of this message. And believe it or not, even the energetic vibration of my voice might trigger something within you. But know this, these messages are always brought to you in love and light and honesty and truth. I will never ever say something that I am not led to say. I will never ever try to convince you to do anything. These messages are merely advice from Spirit. They are very, very significant and sometimes just very intense. But they are always given to you in love and light and support, okay? I appreciate you listening. I appreciate your time. And until next time, guys, and I hope that's soon, namaste.